Let's return to COP, the UN Climate Change Conference taking place in Baku in Azerbaijan, and what was described by the hosts as an early win. Agreement was reached on rules governing the trade of carbon credits. This is a deal which would allow countries to buy credits for removing or avoiding pollution in other parts of the world and have it count towards their own emissions targets. Critics, though, say the agreement was rushed. Let's speak now to Professor Mercedes Maroto-Veller, who is a Deputy Principal for Global Sustainability at Heriot University and has also been appointed to the UN's Council of Engineers for the Energy Transition, joining us now. Very good to have you with us. What did you make of this deal on the trade of carbon credits?
Well, I think Article 6 has been discussed for quite some time, and I think it's good that we start COP29 with some good news. Yes, it's true that maybe some things could still be touched up a little bit, but I think the important thing is we have an overall consensus on Article 6, and this has been on the way for quite some time.
And Professor, do you think that means we're going to get a deal if there's some goodwill there on boosting funding for climate action in developing countries, which is such a key part of this COP?
That's right. That's one of the probably the key question in this COP is whether we are really going to be going from the current agreement that we have on climate finance to something that is going to be much, much larger. And of course, it's not only the goal, but it's also going to be the mechanisms to implement that finance.
But what is the argument for this kind of climate finance? Because we heard from Antonio Guterres earlier saying it can't just be seen as charity.
Yes, that's correct. I think we need to move away from thinking that climate finance is charity. Climate finance is good business. And in fact, it really brings the question as well that it's about prosperity and it's about carbon neutrality, and those two things can go hand in hand. Now, what is at question here, and what the negotiators that I'm working have already been working and will do so more in the coming 2 weeks, is who is going to be paying into that fund, because right now it's on the order of 100 billion, and estimates are that we should be going at least on the 1.2, 1.3 trillion dollars. Who's going to be paying that? Who should actually be contributed, and the mechanisms then to use that money by whom?
Yeah, that's a big gap in terms of what is needed. What are the signals that we're getting from countries like China and the Gulf states when it comes to contributing?
So that's a really good question, because what we are looking here, yes, is to individual contributions, but it's also how different regions of the world they are positioning themselves. And right now what we have is some positive messages coming, but till everybody agrees to actually rise up that ambition, that, as you well said, is a significant increase, we will not know what happens. And I presume this is going to be one, like in many other COPs where I have been, that is actually going to take us all very much till the end dates.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see if an agreement can be reached on that. It's certainly a controversial and difficult one, lots of divisions. Professor Mercedes Maroto-Veller, thank you very much for joining us.